Remembered to record. Since I forgot last week or two or three, then we'll record. That looks like it started recording. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see the crazy things that are going on over here. This is Tequila Sunrise, that middle 8 section.
All right.
And so this was one of my homeworks. Go back and work on this. It's the second bridge. Now the first bridge I'm playing only single strokes down to break up the strumming patterns. So on the first bridge I'm just doing. So I'm kind of doing something reminiscent to that. What they actually do during the bridge is they just play they hit the first note strong and then sing through it. So, well, I've got it starting a bar ahead so that we can get the beat, and then we'll go through the middle 8, and then we can stop and talk about it or repeat, or we'll work it from there. Take another shot of courage. Wonder why the right words never come. You just get numb. It's another tequila. And then it continues on.
That's great. That's
Good. Okay. So we'll mark that one off for the moment. Now on the well, I'll keep practicing it, you know. On the semisonic, this is the one where I really wanted to get it into the tool, and so I stopped and did that. And that changes what I was doing was playing, anyway, we'll hear it. It changes the arrangement quite a bit, because instead of trying to play it at 140, thinking that it was supposed to be at 188, then I'm playing it where the bars actually split between the two chords. So what I was doing before was playing one whole bar of G really fast and then one whole bar of D really fast, but the song is actually 2 beats of G, 2 beats of D, 2 beats of A minor, 2 beats of C. And so I'm slowing it down to play that pattern. Oh, you know what we're going to want? 2 things. We're going to want to turn off the guitar and probably the piano, and then we're going to want to put the correct guitar.
This weather is so
Punch.
goofy. I don't
It's
know
nice
whether
today.
to have. I'm just like, what do I? Oh,
What do I wear?
yes.
Wear layers. That's
What-
the answer. You wear layers, and then you can take off, put on, you know, happiness.
Very
And
true.
one of the layers needs to be a hoodie.
Always.
So if you don't have a good hoodie, tell me. Because one of the layers needs to be a hoodie. And then you can put your hood up if the weather gets really insane. But I found a hoodie and my leather jacket will get me from about 40 degrees to 70 degrees in that range. And so then if it gets below 40, I want a t-shirt on and underneath the shirt, underneath the hoodie, or I'll go to my Arctic parka at some point. My dog walking parka. Okay, so we can redo the percussion on this one. I picked out a percussion set, but we'll listen for that. And so I've turned off everything except the percussion, and then we'll see how that works. Closing time, open all the doors, let you out into the world. Closing time. This room won't be open till your brothers or your sisters come. Gather up your jackets, move into the exits. Hope that you have found a friend. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some of the beginnings. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some of the
Yeah, good. Good.
So I think that'll work better because it's now they're actually playing G5 chords. No, the song is written to play G5 chords, and they're actually playing bar chords. So, but I'm happy.
It's good. It sounds great. It's perfect.
It's one of those growth songs where we can come back and do it some other way, but I'm
It
happy.
makes you want to sing along.
Yay.
It sounds like you're having fun with it. It doesn't sound like it's rushed. It doesn't sound stressed. The chord enunciation is good. The drumming is the part that I was like, oh, yeah, that's great. I like that. That's perfect.
Oh, good. I was afraid you were going to say the drumming's the part that you want to rewrite.
Nope, that was great. I like that because you're singing and playing and having to do rhythm. It's different if you were just going to play the guitar and have the track in the back. That's a different feel. So you're doing three things. So the way you did it was great. I would like, yeah, good job. Open mic.
Yay.
If you were at an open mic, I'd be like, yeah.
Yay. We're keeping our eye on, I still haven't filled in the rest of Blues Soul Man. What we're doing here is just keeping our eye on this one riff.
Think about like
Oh, let's put,
I'm a soul man. That one.
yeah, but it's the one riff. So I think the way that will work is get that riff where it's down clean on timing, and then you put that in a loop
Yes.
because that repeats, the bass line repeats through the whole song. And then you start working on the actual song. The actual song, you know, I've just got the beginning of it for. And this is the wrong guitar tune, but it's. I'm a soul man.
All right.
See what I mean?
That's a great big leap for you. I like it. Good.
Yeah, this is very different from our strumming rhythm thing.
Oh yeah.
But so now I've started working on a new song, which is Poncho and Lefty. I don't know if you know that one.
I have heard the
And
name.
the federales say they could have had him any day.
That
But
sounds like a Beatles song.
country and western.
Okay.
The gentleman that wrote this, Townes Van Zandt,
Yes.
he said he wrote it about a couple of fellas that he met 2 weeks after he wrote it. And he said if you hung out more often with Willie Nelson, you'd understand that statement.
Oh yeah.
Now he got pulled over by some Mexican police, and he was trying to convince them that he was a musician. And it turned out that they knew the song. He said, you know, I wrote that song, Poncho and Lefty, and they said, oh yeah, they knew that song. That they actually went by the nicknames Poncho and Lefty as Mexican policemen. So there you
Nice.
go. What I'm doing with this one is we're mixing in a little lead notes in the beginning, again, to try and get used to picking, doing some picking along with the. So this one has a. As the intro.
All right.
So they're
What?
doing a big background with it where the piano's da 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 da, but I've got this starting soon enough, and then we'll hear it. I'm still not synced up on singing this one as well, but we'll see how we do. This one, same thing. I'm bringing it in one measure ahead. Normally, it would start right on measure 2.
Before
But
you jump, before you jump,
Yes, ma'am.
let's fix the lead, the riff that you're doing. Do it again. Just a. So I can't tell if you're in the first box or the second box just because you tilted just a little bit.
Sorry.
The other way. Go back. Go back towards your guitar. There you go. Your amp. There you go. Right
there. So it's. Let's see.
3.
This is the B string. So it's on D. So it's D, A, G. Oh, the letters. I'm sorry. The notes are written there above the thing. It says
Right.
D, A, G, A, G, A, D.
I was trying to help you with your flow of it. So when it goes to the strumming, what's the last note in that? Is it D?
Yes.
And then you go into a D chord? Wait.
Yes.
All right. So if you go ahead, do it again, the pattern. Okay. I was trying to see where your third finger was, because your third finger is the one that has to move the furthest. On the
It's on the D.
Right. Good.
So it just stays on the D.
And you're doing an upstroke to get into
Oh, you're right. I was using my second finger on the D, which is wrong. I need to use my third finger on the D.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So that then I can just stay there.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll do it that way. Good point.
Movements, things to make you play simpler.
Missed the repeat. Living on the road, my friend, gonna keep you clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, this heart has never seen. What your mama's only boy, what her favorite one it seems. She began to cry when you said goodbye. Your man pause there for a minute. I wonder if we're on the wrong guitar. Yeah, we're
I was
still
gonna
on
say
Captain Crunch.
Guitar
Let's
needs
go.
to
Let's
be
go
like
to a softer
clean.
guitar.
Yeah.
Let's go to a softer guitar. Sing the blues all night long like we used to. Dust the poncho in down south. Ended up, he left his mouth. Day they laid for Poncho Low, left his bed for Ohio, where he got the breath to go.
Good rough draft. I would still change the guitar to something simpler. I don't know.
Oh, really? That's about as clean as the guitar gets, right?
But it's got a little dirty something on the back end of it. I don't know.
Well,
what
it's
it
got
is.
a little bit of gain in it, but not too much, and a delay and a reverb.
That's
The
what I
straight
hear.
guitar. That's with no delay, no reverb, no nothing. All I've done on that one is turn the sound up loud enough to hear it.
I would use something like me. I would use something like that until I got the structure down, so you can
Yes.
hear. Because I think it's too much strumming. So go back and do simpler chords like instead of bang 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 bang, and you'll
Okay.
know when the difference is.
So I was doing this. Living on the road, my friend. Living on the road, my friend. Living on the road, my friend. Was gonna keep you free and clean.
That.
Now you wear your skin like iron, and so on. I don't have the chords memorized, unfortunately.
That.
We can do one chord for now,
Yeah.
and then work it out from there.
As you get the flow of it. Yeah.
Living on the road, my friend. So I think this is the right idea, is to try and start putting some
Lead.
riffs
Riff.
in
Yeah.
between.
Oh yeah.
So I'm getting used to doing that part as well. And then I'm still having fun having the accompaniment along, so the timing and so on. I was listening to a fellow on the interwebs, and I know that's a dangerous occupation. I'm going to put us in. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. So I was listening to a fellow on the interwebs, and he said he was teaching a course, and he said he was doing, for his courses, he was doing a lot of looping where he would play the background, save it as a loop, and then improvise over the background.
Mm-hmm.
And he said doing that, because he was constantly playing to a background track, he was losing his sense of timing. because he didn't have to keep time. The background track was keeping time. And I said, that's exactly the opposite of every piece of advice I've ever heard, because every piece of advice I've ever heard is play to the metronome,
Yeah.
which is keeping time for you.
He must. How do you? I don't know how you would lose time because your body starts doing it automatically with time. So he's separating from his soul or something. Uh, that's interesting.
I don't know.
I don't know how you do that.
And it was his independent sense of time. So that must be a master problem.
Yeah.
That's not.
Like, that's not the norm, but okay.
That's not my problem. Because at first when he said that, I was like, oh. But then after I thought about that, I was like, that's the opposite of all the wisdom I've ever heard on this topic. And so, no
I personally am not able to do looping where you do the throw.
But that's perfect for you.
Yeah. Oh no, because it's
but
hours.
You're such a one-man band person.
Oh my gosh.
That you could do that and then do over it.
I have not tried it since I've been in Austin. But when I was in Dallas, it was the hardest thing to do because you have to be on time. So that's why I'm like, how does he lose time? Your timing has to be immaculate with the loop pedal. So you're spending hours and hours of getting the timing right.
Well, especially if you're going to build it up like 5 layers of looping, like you see people do on YouTube, where it's like, here's this one little riff that, and then save that off for 16 beats, and then here's another.
Yep.
And then let me change the guitar pattern to cello, and then here's another one.
And then let me add a bass riff, and then let me add a piano riff, and then we add into this. Yes.
So I don't know what he was thinking.
That's the show.
Unless he's not laying down a bass riff. But yeah, somehow he meant he wants to measure his time when no other time marker is available, so that he knows he's staying on time.
Read the music? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm sure what he's saying makes good sense, just not for my level, not where I'm at, not where I'm at in my life.
I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm surprised that you're not a looping expert, though.
I tried the loop pedal. I tried the first little one. It was red or something, and it's fun. I may try it again, but it just daunting.
Seems like it's tailor-made for your type of performance, so that you could do your bass. You could pick up your bass, do a bass loop, and then play your guitar over the bass loop.
I could try that for this next album. Like, there's one formulating in my back of my head, so.
Yeah. Well, songs like Soul Man seem tailor-made for it because you have this one riff or drum pattern that repeats through the whole song. So, and you could actually, with Closing Time is that one chord sequence through the entire song. Nothing else but that one chord sequence. So what I could do in that case is, what one could do in that case, is you put that chord sequence into the loop, and then you play the riffs in between. You play along with that,
right?
The frills. You play the frills in between the chords instead of playing the. Okay, so.
Agreed.
That was the 3 things that I was worried about for tonight. So that brings us to 8 songs that we're working on, and I'm going to flesh out Blues, the Soul Man, for next time. I'm going to keep practicing on Poncho and Lefty, and I'll go ahead and get Soul Man all the way into the computer for next time. I'm going to put the sharing on again. Because Soul Man's one that you could enjoy and that people know. One that one can enjoy playing forever and that people know.
All I hear is horns every time you say that.
Yes.
I'm a soul man.
And we can have the computer do the horns, though. That won't be a problem. But my teacher will say, turn that stuff off so that I can hear the guitar.
Yes, but...
Like on... See, I already learned my lesson on Tequila Sunrise, because Tequila Sunrise has a frill guitar, an overdubs guitar. It's just adding in a little frill here or there, a little, or then during the solo it plays a constant, which, yeah, I don't know how they picked that, but okay.
That would, if it's that fast, it would be just a down down strum.
Yeah, I believe you. Let's look at it back here, because maybe you'd understand better what are they trying to do. But I think it's right before. Oh, I don't have it. It's not visible. Here's the problem. I turned it off because it's too confusing if you see that frill going along with the regular guitar. And I think the gentleman who wrote the transcript was German, because there's some H notes in there. See here?
Yes.
Well, let's listen to that solo.
Okay, yeah, I would do it down strum.
Oh, it's no, yeah, no problem. It's just 16th notes, right? And it's just a 3/4. I wouldn't be able to hit those fast enough just picking those two. I guess you could mute this 6th string. That'd still be a problem for me.
At this time.
At this. Just doing the 3/4. No. Okay, so I will work on, I wish I had, now I was trying a different, and I think I closed all my browser windows. I was trying a different sheet music service in order to get the Sheet Music Direct. What they've done is, you know those terrible songbooks by Hal Leonard?
Mm-hmm.
Like they've done a songbook on everything, but it's like the first 50 songs you should learn to play on guitar, which, and this is, they're not terrible songbooks, but this is why I'm critical of them is, you know, that there are bar chords and other things right in the first 50 songs you should learn to play. And I was like, you can't,
Yeah.
no one's playing those for the first 50 songs. But the nice thing about this is it's another annual service, but you can, it's basically got their whole catalog, and because they've gotten like everybody's music into one of their songbooks somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
then usually you can find it somewhere. Now, what this, and apparently I'm not logged in, unfortunately. I'm going to try and figure out where the login is. I don't understand why it's not offering me. But basically, you can buy this annual pass, and then it will give you access to the sheet music online. But you can't save it as a PDF. You can't print it. You can just see it online. But what that does for me, in my case, is if I can see it online, I can end up with it in my guitar software,
Mm-hmm.
and happiness, as opposed to buying individual sheet music or buying individual books.
Screenshot it too.
Yes, indeed, you do. I wasn't trying to cover all the details on the recording, but yes, that's the pull part of it off on the screen. Let me look again real quick to see. Oh, maybe this is blown up. Yeah, there it is. And it took us off that page because I logged in.
How rude.
Yeah, because they're trying to sell you on specific, you know, these are the ones that we're pushing today.
Ooh-wee. I'm either hot for 5 minutes or cold for 5 minutes, or hot or cold. I am not ready for menopause.
It is. My in-laws are getting ready to move out of their house, so we're going to go fetch my other guitar and amp over Christmas.
Okay.
So I'll actually bring it back, and then we'll see who gets to be my favorite guitar after I have because that one has a nice sound to it, so we'll have to see.
There's not a favorite. There's just an addition to.
Yeah, yeah. Try telling your significant other that.
It's probably
That
why I'm single.
that could be a big part of it. So that's what I'm thinking is I'll grab this, get it into the guitar processor, and then we can start to figure out. But this is why I was saying that's an E7, and so they're doing a. Now you could just play all of the whole thing finger picked, right?
What do you mean by?
But especially if you have, I mean, never going to the chords. You know, it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We'll have to go to page 2.
For the whole song?
Yeah,
or just for the intro?
We'll have to see what makes sense. But I liked that going from 04 to the E7 chord. I think that's a nice presentation thing. But it stays on that E7 through 5 more bars, which is one of those confusing.
Because it's got horns and all that other background stuff going on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you're basically, for this song, just rhythm for the guitar. And not so much of a...
Yeah, in this case, the arrangements for piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I have to do is try and figure out a mix of individual notes and chords on the guitar that bring the song out.
It's the... That's the part that you should pick out. Because that would be a... It'd be a triplets.
Yes, this is this part down here. I'm a soul man. Did it. Is that?
Yeah.
If you can see my.
That's the sweet part
pointer.
that you should pick out.
Yes, and then we'll turn the piano into a guitar section there. I'm a soul man. Did it. I'm a soul man. I guess it's just soul man. Did it. I'm a soul man. See, I think this sound goes up on man there. It's not just E over again. I'm a soul man. Did it. I'm a soul man. I don't know.
I can't see it. Okay, there it is. Yeah, your bass has got all the groove.
And it could be that it will hold itself just fine with the way they've got the guitar ornament, the guitar done. And so just stick with the...
Especially if you're going to have a backing track.
Yes. Yeah, this may not be...
It would be difficult by just guitar solo. But it can be done. It totally can be done. When a man loves a woman.
I like that song too.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the Sam and Dave guitar tab version. See, this seems harder to me. This is the guitar tab version I'm trying to avoid, is the 12.
Where are you starting? You're in measure 1?
I was trying to start right here.
I'm sorry, the screen is covered.
I'm starting with the guitar 2, measure 4.
There you go.
So if we started on guitar 1, I didn't appreciate that there are 2 different guitar riffs here.
How are you supposed to play 2? Oh my. With pick and
use
fingers.
2 guitars.
Yeah, sure. Or play with 2 necks.
Yeah. Well, in my vote would be you have the Guitar Pro play one of the guitar pieces and you play the other guitar piece. But,
yes.
Once you figure out how we'll do simultaneous playing on Second Life, then you do one of them and I'll do the other one.
I don't know if the technology's there. It's totally
Well, that's just defeatist.
a lead to the lead. But I need I need a team of people to play with me so I can figure it out.
Yay.
But there's cats in there that have been doing it for over 8 years, so the technology's not there yet.
Yeah.
It's
When a Man
getting
Loves
there.
a Woman, it's in 6/8 time. So an E flat, B flat, C minor, E flat, 6, E6 flat, A flat, B flat
E
7.
flat.
Wonder if this transposes to something lovely.
F sharp. C. B flat is a what? Or are they calling a B flat? It's a C. There is no B flat. Sorry. C minor.
It doesn't.
E minor. E minor.
I don't think it
5.
has its own volume. Is the only problem with this gadget is it needs its own independent volume.
It needs to yeah, so you can hear. What is the? Is that the next page? The sheet at the right of your. You've got a metronome, a B sharp, or flat sharp, flats and sharps, a horn, and some notes.
Yeah, you
and
can
then,
transpose it.
Oh, nice.
And you can pick which instruments on the top staff. So if you're playing the trumpet part, you can, or whatever, you can put your instrument on the top. So you don't have to read down on the...
I love how technology is getting better at useful sites like this. Because sometimes the sites you're like, no, it's not even helpful.
Usually when they say
all.
guitar chords / lyrics, what they mean is this is just the chord sheet.
Booyah. Look at that.
Come
Cheat sheet.
in to ya on a dusty road. Good lovin', but it's true. Yeah.
Oh, so you definitely gotta get the rhythm on this first, the drums on this first, because it's what tempo is this? 120?
Oh, no tempo is given. It's a chord sheet. You're supposed to know the tempo.
Oh, let's see. I think it's about 126.
Yeah, that's why I like work from an actual sheet music.
Mm-hmm.
Then the chord sheets to me are death. Are not the right thing.
It's a great challenging
112.
song, Bruce. I'm gonna have to look at this
Soul
song.
Man,
Yeah.
or When a Man Loves a Woman. Yeah. So we'll work on that one. I'll get it into the guitar processor, and then because that takes some time. We'll see.
On this song, Soul Man, the bass has your groove.
Yes. So we'll put a bass track.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to help you.
Well, what it's doing right now is it's doing a piano left hand, right hand, and the piano is playing the groove in the left hand.
Yes.
But it would probably be interesting to take the piano out and just put a bass there. I don't know. I'll probably just do it the way they've got it for now, and then try and figure out what's the actual. And I do think they're missing that. And I guess you could do both. You put the piano bass in, and then add another voice with just the bass. See, here's an alto sax and lead sheet fake book. Lead sheet should be the melody and the chords. Yeah. So this is much closer to what I wish they had on everything. So on the guitar, they're saying. Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me.
That one did, actually, to me, because I could hear it.
Coming to ya on a dusty road.
Yep.
I'm too slow on my. Yeah, it'll make a pretty song once we get it sorted out. Another one I'd like to be able to do from them is Boxcar Blues.
Mm.
I don't know if they have that one on the. That was an old Delbert McClennan song. Maybe all one word for Boxcar. Boxcar Blues. But it's another one with a problem on. Nope. It's another one with a problem on how the guitar reacts to it and so on. But I'll go work that. We are closing up on our time. Now I'm still warming up with our box drill, and I'm trying to work in more riff patterns to go with, and we're still doing B minor practice. But several of these songs that we're playing right now have B minors in them, and so that's working for B minor practice as well.
Using B minor as the bar chord or B minor as the chord?
B minor the bar chord. But like I think almost every song we're practicing right now has a B minor in it, and so all good.
And B minor leads to all the rest of the chord shapes, all the rest of the bar chord shapes.
Well, it's but it's practice and gross familiarity from a, so keep practicing. And then my plan on the other songs is just keep playing through them now and then in order to keep them fresh.
Yep.
Like Yellow Submarine and so on. And then everything's everything. I'm thinking in the back of my mind I want to add an acoustic guitar at some point.
Yes. Make sure you get one with a cutaway.
Yeah, but I don't know what acoustic guitar. I'm kind of split between.
The one I have is a Fender. What the heck is that thing? An AE Fender, acoustic electric Fender.
Yes, they have some nice
called?
Acoustasonics that are good looking and kind of in a $600 range, but they're made in Korea or China, one or the other. And I really want to also purchase one that's made here in the Western Hemisphere. That was one of the draws to me with the moniker, was that it was made in Austin. And so I'm going to have to sort it out. The inexpensive ones, the Seagull guitars are made in Canada.
Those are nice.
And then have you read Taylor's book about his autobiography about starting the guitar company? That was in like a training thing I was taking. They had that book, and so I read through that. A really lovely story about the trials and tribulations of starting a guitar company and then making it, like the best-selling guitar company, one of the best-selling guitar companies in the world at this point. But they're also doing some interesting things with trying to save the forest in Africa and so on. But the trickiness there is by the time you get a used solid wood acoustic from Taylor, it's $1,000.
Yep.
Their least expensive solid wood version is the 314 with the cutout and the electronics, which we want, starts at $1,800. And that's the inexpensive one. Yeah, the other ones are made. Now, their factory is right on the border of Mexico. The factory that they make is across the road from them, basically, where on the Mexican side, and because they can pay so much less in labor there, but they're made to a standard. But that's where their 114 and the 214 come from, is their Mexican factory. But they're not solid wood; they're solid top and then laminate sides and back. And so that's what I'm kind of. What I don't want to do is I don't want to buy an acoustic guitar and then 6 months later I'm thinking, gosh, I wish I'd spent a little bit more money and got something else.
You should go into the guitar center or a guitar store and just play with them, random them. I always go into the expensive room and go, what do you sound like? And play it. And often the more expensive they are, I'm like, you just sound like a 250 guitar.
Yes.
For me, it's all about the strings and the warmth of the guitar. I really don't care how much it costs. If it doesn't play for me, then
Yes.
I don't want it.
And see,
So
that's the opposite of some people, because I was listening to different guitar samples, and some people, it's really important to them that the guitar is really bright
yeah,
as opposed to really rich.
are
And
they
then,
singers?
yeah, well, that could, no. That could be the other one I was looking at is, now I can't remember the name of it, but they're making, they're out in Utah and they're making carbon fiber guitars.
Marshall? Not Marshall. I think it's Marshall. Marshall. I know Taylor and Marshall and another one have gone are
Yeah.
moving towards getting
Marshall
away
is the
from
big
wood.
American manufacturer that invented the guitar, but didn't literally, but they're like the one of the oldest manufacturers. Now this place is a relatively new kit, but the nice thing about it though is it has bolts in the neck,
Mm,
and you can take the neck off to travel.
yes.
So I think you could take
Oh,
the whole guitar and stick it in your roller.
I've seen that recently. Little black ones, and they're.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I
I would
don't
have to
too.
play one.
Yes, and and one of the honest reviews I think said, "No, this does not sound like a Martin solid wood guitar. It does not, but it has a unique sound to it, and it's just not as textured as you're going to find on a solid wood guitar. Because yeah, they're doing a lot of things in terms of tone. It's different. It's not worse. It's different than a wood guitar. So again, I don't know. But
I'd have to
as
play
much
with
as
it.
I travel, it would be nice if I could stick one in the back and keep it in the roller all the time, and then always have it at the hotel when I got there.
You you've seen the little travel guitars, right? The little
Yeah, but they
wooden.
won't fit in a roller. They're almost all set to put it in its own bag and put it in the overhead.
Oh, okay.
And then the Italian guy sitting next to you puts his bag on top of your guitar, and then it's not a guitar anymore.
No.
And
Yeah.
so that's why I want, if it can come apart and you can put it in a hard shell case, then I feel like nobody else can. Doesn't matter what anybody else does.
That's a good point.
It's protected. That's my logic anyway. But I don't know if that's what I really need to do, or what I really need to do is just get a. But like this Poncho and Lefty, I think they actually play that with acoustic guitars. Is why it's hard to find exactly the perfect electric guitar sound to it. Even we can do the electric guitar simulator, which we haven't played with a lot, but basically it has a kind of a simulator to make more of an acoustic guitar sound, but it's still not going to be an acoustic guitar.
I would go play with one. Go see what it
Yep,
sounds
that's
like.
what I think too. Is go play the Seagulls and go play the Marshall, the least expensive Marshall that's a solid wood, and go play the least expensive Taylor that's a solid wood with a cutout, and
We're both
electronics.
saying Marshall. We mean Martin.
That's correct. Thank you for correcting that.
No, no. I was like, it's not Marshall because that's the amp. Martin guitar. Yeah. I would.
Yes, and they make lovely guitars. Taylor makes lovely guitars. The Seagull is attractive to me just because it is made by hand in the Western Hemisphere in Canada instead of the United States, but you can get a really nice Seagull with a bag and everything for like $800.
And they smell good. I don't know what's with those guitars specifically, but they have a smell that I like.
Yeah.
The Seagull guitars that the other guitars don't.
Well,
Like
and
humidifier. It smells like they've been in a humidifier.
yes, and all their guitars have a nautical theme, which calls to my
Yes, Seagulls
nautical
got you.
background. So, but they have the Mariner and the other models are also likewise named after nautical things. But the Taylor, after reading his autobiography, I said, well, that's it. I want to go get a Taylor guitar because
Taylors are
I know
magnificent
this guy.
guitars.
I know this guy based on his autobiography. But but I find it daunting to go spend $1,800 on a guitar
Yep, I
if
would.
you're not a performing musician.
Uh, Even a performing musician, I'm like, whew, don't ever take it outside.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Well, and see,
Stay.
that would be the thing with carbon fiber is then I wouldn't be worried about keeping it in a humidifier and keeping it, it's going to last forever, as they like to say. So you can play golf with it. That's one of their ads is
Oh
the
my
people
gosh.
playing baseball with the carbon fiber
No.
guitar.
Oh,
Well,
that
it's still
hurts
got
my
a wood
heart.
neck. It's still got a wooden neck, but yeah, but I think you're absolutely right, which is go to the Guitar Center in the quiet room and see and bring some sheet music because I never can remember any of my music when I'm there.
Just
And
pull out your
then,
phone, man. Pull out your phone.
yes, which is you would think that would occur to you, but last time it occurred to me after we left the guitar store. But okay.
And you have your guitar, ultimate guitar on your phone, right?
Oh sure.
Oh yeah.
And I have even better. I have our Dropbox on my phone, and then every song we're doing, I've put out in the Dropbox. And if I was a more clever person, I can actually, now that I have these songs in Guitar Pro, every one of them can be copied into the mobile version of Guitar Pro.
There you go.
And then it'll play exactly the same song and exactly the same textures, everything on the phone. And bring my iPad with me so it's bigger. Da da da. Anyway, good to see you. Sorry I kept you too late.
You're good.
I'm going to stop.